I know some of y'all are getting sick and tired of me keep talking minus one, but anyways, what's up you guys, Scour here, and you read the title. I'm making why Godzilla Minus One is better than Shin Godzilla. Before we start this video, I want you to know this is my opinion, so if you respect my opinion, I respect yours. But if you get offended by it, then leave. Now without any ado, let's get started. My first reason is the human characters like Minus One were great, especially Koichi Tsukishima, because it shows the audience that you care about them, while Shin Godzilla, they were boring. My second reason is the effects, like Minus One, Takashi's team did make the effects look realistic as possible. Even I heard it scared some people. Hell, he even won an Oscar for his best special effects. While Shin Godzilla, they only use fake buildings for some scenes. I get it's supposed to be reference to tokusatsu, but sometimes it might not work with CGI. My third reason is the tone. If you don't know what I mean by that, it's because Minus One is similar to the original film, like it's dark, anti-war, and anti-nuclear. While Shin Godzilla, the tone for that film is nationalism, bureaucracy, and satire, which that's technically government stuff. My fourth reason is the concept. If you don't know what I mean by that, it's because I like a concept when Minus Goji charges atomic breath when his plates pop out and retracts back in. It's kind of like a giant revolver when the hammer pulls and slams back in when it fires. While Shin Goji, I don't like a concept when the beams fire from his back and tail because that doesn't look realistic in my opinion. My fifth reason is the soundtrack. Why soundtrack you're going may ask? Is because I like when they remastered classic Godzilla theme 3 times in Minus One, while for Shin Godzilla, they just use a classic soundtrack from the old movies, which nobody wants to listen to that. I get it's to appreciate some of fans, but not all fans want to listen to that. Now, while I was writing this video, I decided to collab with a small YouTuber named Zimzilla99 to say his reasons why Minus One is better than Shin Godzilla. So go check his channel out and tell him I sent y'all. But anyways, take it away, Sim.
When it comes to Godzilla Minus One being better than Shin Godzilla, another aspect I would want to bring up is pacing. With Minus One, we have a lot more Godzilla action than we do in Shin Godzilla. We have the Odo Island attack sequence, we then later on have the ocean battle, we then have the Ginza destruction sequence, and then the final battle. Whereas with Shin Godzilla, we have the initial appearance on land, then Godzilla appears again, which we have the tank battle as well as the helicopter attack, and then we later on have the atomic breath sequence, which carries off right from that other point, and then we have the final battle. They are the same in terms of how much Godzilla we get for the most part, but with Shin Godzilla, there's not as much action that actually takes place, and the deliberating is far more drawn out in comparison to Godzilla Minus One. And with Godzilla Minus One, all the deliberating feels far more direct in terms of actually dealing with Godzilla, where there's more political hubbub in Shin Godzilla. Not to mention, at the end, the stakes are not as great compared to Godzilla Minus One, where all the characters that are engaging in the final battle are directly in Godzilla's path and have a greater chance of dying compared to the characters in Shin Godzilla, where it almost feels like we're just trying to weigh out the clock to see if this plan actually works. And although there is the ticking time bomb of the nuke, more than likely we were never going to see Japan get nuked based on what the story was trying to tell, so as such, it feels almost like there's no stakes at all. When it comes to Shin Godzilla not being as good as Godzilla Minus One, I think one of the main things is character. We have characters in Godzilla Minus One, such as Sumiko and Tachibana, and although some characters like Tachibana have more roles in the plot, each character, regardless of how minor they are, feel like they serve a purpose, unlike the characters of Shin Godzilla. The reason I say that is because Yaguchi and Kayako are the only 2 characters that seem to have any agency or drive in the story, whereas everyone else under them seem to be cogs in a machine. The reason why this is a problem is that Shin Godzilla is critiquing this exact thing, and the only reason why it seems that Yaguchi's crew is doing better is because of his pragmatism and because the writer wants him to be right. Whereas with the cabinet, they have their own cogs in the machine, and for some reason they just so happen to be not as talented as the people that Yaguchi hires. This could work, but because the whole critique is of bureaucracy and the hubbub of being a cog in the machine, having characters serve the same purpose but just be on the protagonist side seems to lessen the point, whereas characters such as Sumiko and Tachibana directly contradict what Shikishima wants to do with his life, but overall, it's through Shikishima's actions and his beliefs to help change these characters for the better, and how we get to see them as not just antagonists, but also people of their own who have their own thoughts and desires. Godzilla Minus One also does better than Shin Godzilla when it comes to its designs. Although a lot of people like to praise Shin Godzilla as being this amazing modern reconstruction of the original design, the fact is the original Godzilla was never intended to be an exceptionally horrific creature. it was designed to be a creature that looked like it was mutated, but it overall still resembled a dinosaurian shape. Things such as the small arms, the extremely large thighs, and the overly large tail do nothing but to make its silhouette extremely off-putting to a lot of people, and although some say that's the point, it doesn't really work as much as a Godzilla design compared to the -1 design, where we have the original Odo Island design, which still feels like Godzilla, just far more dinosaur-like, and then we have the final design, which resembles the Heisei design, one of the most iconic designs, which itself took a lot of traits from the original, such as the 4 toes, the inclusion of the head design being very similar, and although it doesn't have things like the fangs or the ears, Godzilla's overall silhouette is far closer to the original and the iconic silhouette than Shin Godzilla's is.
Thank you, Sim, for your reasons. And I think we're not the only one, because I think most of people also like -1 better than Shin Godzilla. Hell, even Army people did say in this review that -1 is what Shin Godzilla should have been, which I agree with them. If you have your reasons, let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and go follow me on my social media accounts, and join my Discord server, link in the description down below. And like I said, go check Zimzilla 99 out. So yeah, this is Skyler, and peace out everyone.